The King's speech in the Commons this afternoon has already set the stage for significant political and legislative shifts. And Keir Starmer has outlined the Labour government's agenda, focusing on countering populism and emphasising policies aimed at public interest over performance, he says. Key legislative proposals include the house building programme with the aim to deliver 1.5 million homes, the nationalisation of railways, a long-term project that's going to gradually oversee the control of the rail network, the Workers' Rights Bill, which will address employment practices and ban zero-hours contracts and improve protection to workers and education funding, removing the VAT exemption from private schools to fund 6,500 new teachers. I think that's a mistake because it's simply using the government as a sort of advertising agency for teacher recruitment. The infrastructure development to allow cheaper land acquisition for building. Rishi Sunak humorously acknowledged his brief tenure as Prime Minister and the subsequent election loss. He criticised the new government's plans and suggested that they were overly ambitious and lacked clarity on implementation, especially in areas like National Wealth Fund and public transportation. And I think since losing the election, Rishi Sunak has been something of a delight, and I wish we'd see more of this when he was Prime Minister. Instead, he'd suppressed his personality in the interests of following the advice of his spads, and I think demonstrates that sort of thing doesn't work. He said he became Prime Minister and lost the general election, and now he's responding to the Keir Starmer, the snake oil of populism. But there's a lot to be said for the charm offensive. Dame Meg Hillier's critique was more biting. She said that there are public service failures, including water companies, school buildings, defence procurement, and the need to sort out stagnant wages and lack of investment in education for children's life chances. Stephen Flynn for the SNP called for GB Energy to be headquartered in Aberdeen and expressed scepticism about the budget allocated to the plans for energy, questioning its sufficiency for the required energy transition. So Ed Davey, who said that he's interested in water sports, emphasised the importance of caring for carers and fixing the NHS crisis. He supported the new government's plans where they align with Liberal Democrat values, but warned of the significant challenges left by the Conservatives. Graham Stewart questioned Sir Keir Starmer's commitment to rural issues, to which Starmer reassured his support, citing his rural upbringing and the representation in Parliament as proof of his government's dedication. While Labour has announced new tech regulations, it did not introduce the much-anticipated AI bill, leaving the future of AI governance somewhat uncertain. And the speeches and debates in the Commons highlight a mixture of priorities, and despite the sheer number of bills proposed, a lot of caution. There's an element of theatricality which I had not anticipated from Sir Keir Starmer's proposals, and I think both sides of the House, both the Labour side and the Conservative side, are reeling from the impact of this magic, because it really is magic. A lot of words and very little substance. And I think once people tease out the idea that this is a sort of first stage, and this is not unlike the way that Keir Starmer transformed the Labour Party. He does things very carefully. So in order to do the bigger changes, the smaller changes need to be made. This first year is all the smaller changes, the foundation, the fundamentals that need to be in place for the bigger ideological changes of the future, I suggest. But all governments have a problem that they have to respond to events. Events, dear boy, as Macmillan said, and who knows what events are facing Keir Starmer in the next couple of years, because there's plenty of events on the horizon.